marking business. Just said that in a hearing, so we just wanted to see what the matter what the matter is. Once you, yeah. Once you hear me? Not hearing? Not hearing? The stream will start right now.
Yeah.
Are you hearing? Are you hearing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe low.
All right. We can hear you. All right. You were saying,
Yeah.
you were asking a question.
Yes, I was saying from the time Joseph was in Potiphar's care,
Uh-huh.
that was about a year.
Right.
And I mean, to the time that I know we didn't get it, became Prime Minister of Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
I was just, I mean, the time that he spent with Potiphar is only a year, and I don't think that he would be able to master anything in that little space of time, especially
Yeah.
with the tauntings he getting from Zedekiah, his
What?
wife.
Well, there's something that you're missing.
So,
Definitely.
huh?
There's something that you're missing.
What is that?
And that something is he spent 12 years in prison. You're missing that one.
He was 12
And while he was 12 years in prison, the warden made him gave him charge of everything down here. So he had 12 years.
So he had 12.
That's a long time.
12, 30 or even 30
Yeah.
plus years to really
Yeah.
prepare and be strong to govern the
Yeah, 12 years of training.
Well, that's a lot of time.
Yeah, of course it's a lot of
Ben,
time. As I say,
what I think trip you up is the 1 year that he Potiphar spur from him. That's the 1 year that you had in your mind all the time when you start talking about that.
Right, so that's what I'm
You
saying.
had sticking your mind.
What you missed was the 12 years, because they gave us the full time that he spent.
Prison.
Sometimes
In
when you
prison.
read the Bible, some are reading, you know, the times
Yeah.
it's going so sweet and so
Yeah,
smooth.
because
It's
when
just
you're writing,
years.
you cannot write in years.
Everything is always condensed.
If you have to write in years, then you'll have to take a whole year. You see,
Right.
Right.
to write, if you're gonna mention what happened here today, that happens in an hour and two. How long are you gonna take to do that? Same hour?
That's true.
No, you have to take just about a
Yeah.
couple minutes to say it. But the person is going. If you say we started at 10 and we ended at 12, the person, I don't know why this is happening here. If you say you started at 10 and you ended at 12, you basically the person is going to tell themselves, well, it happened that long. So when you're reading, you have to try to read with the understanding of years passing through. And that's what I'm trying to put it. When you see me say parallel, I try to show you that when Joseph went down there, what is happening in his father's house, and back to what is happening down there. So once you have that 12 years in mind, you are seeing, because just reading it from the Bible, you're not getting the years, right? But based on what we're doing, Joshua, you're seeing that 1 year is when all of those things took place. Because you thought that he stayed longer in Potiphar's house before any of those things happened, right? But now we recognize earlier clock, the man was in jail, right? Just the next following year, he was in jail. And then, so the majority of his life was not spent in Potiphar's house. The majority of his life was spent in jail before he went up to thing. So
when he left there, he was a
solid man.
Strong, solid.
Because he's dealing with men.
Yeah.
He in Potiphar's house, yes, he's dealing with a man who is in charge of the guard. But as a prisoner, he deal with everybody that worked for the king, including the man working for the king. So he getting all kind of information.
He was a boy.
He was a boy when he went in there and then come a man.
He between
He
the
was a
lines.
man.
Yes, he's a man solid in the things that he's doing. So he knows stuff now. He's not just
He's 29 years old.
he knows stuff. He's not
He's a man,
just
he's a man, yeah.
yeah.
17 and 12 is
Right. So that helps you to understand his life
Right.
in there.
They show a lot, man.
right? He went through a lot. But that first year, he's going through a lot. That's the first year. So you can see now how God is training. God is not training him in the ordinary way. Right? God is training him through the hard knock. You know, you gotta come out solid at the end of the day, but God is training him in the hard knock. When you are trained by doing, you know at the end of the day. That's why apprentices, carpenters, apprentices, you have to be doing. But when you finish, you know. And sometimes the man just gives you work to do and asks you to do this tedious little work, and it's like, that's what they send me for. But he knows that if you understand this, like certain businessmen, they let their children start by doing the mail, cleaning, and people like, what is this son, why he haven't? But he says when he grows up understanding that, he knows the entire business from the bottom up. Yes, Dave.
What I recognize, right, is that even in the way in our language or how we speak about Joseph's experience, to me, we say it's the hard way, particularly because of circumstances. What I'm recognizing is that God's way will be perceived as hard to us because it's in our opinions. It flies in the face of what we would prefer, which is peace and safety. And safety and peace and safety in the context of what the flesh, what is represented in the flesh. What I've recognized is that there is God's intention is satisfaction of the inner man more so than the appeasing of the flesh. Because I reckon, just even when you said the normal way, what do we actually consider to be the normal way? Is the normal way what his flesh represents as, well, you shouldn't really struggle in order to? I've recognized that there's a lot of analogies in the scripture about gold, and how gold is shaped into a particular object, the beating, the twisting, the turning, and that means that a lot of pressure has to be applied. When you're chipping out wood to make a wooden bowl, you have to be intentional. It's a bowl and not a cup. There's a particular things that have to, so in everything in life, there has to be some level of diligence and hard work that brings out a product that is not only durable but sustainable. And we look at situations where products are quickly processed, they're not as durable. And so for God to have Joseph in a position where he is not only influential, he's not only going to lead his people into safety through famine in the future, he's going to be able to lead and present some level of, I wouldn't say pardon, but grace in a city or in a country where nobody's just going to allot land to people. And I know that you will say I kind of jumping stuff, but I'm just simply saying that, like I'm starting to recognize that what we see as normal, because we just don't like pain, and we don't like the suffering that is required to bring us to a place where when we sit now before the people, or when we start to do the actual toil and hard work, it's not going to consume us in a way where we are easily distracted. Joseph then can't be easily distracted because of the position he would hold, and how then his people is going to have to look up to him in a foreign land to be able to see some glimpse of hope. Because I've recognized that we do it now a lot, whereas God is taking us through something, and because it's so difficult to us, and I'm not saying nullify anybody's struggle, but I'm just simply saying is that if we look through the lens of Christ and allow him to really lead us in the paths that he would have, it will never be easy, and really and truly is counter to the very existence of our flesh.
Solid. Joe was making a point. Solid.
As a follow-up, as a follow-up to that comment though, I can only speak for me personally. Sometimes I want to do what Joe wanted. Sometimes I think about doing what Job's wife suggested. Maybe go through the grinds, and when you pray for over a decade, you're not seeing nothing happen. Me personally, as a man, sometimes you're tempted to do that.
Give up.
Yeah, but you always I always come back full circle
Mhm.
to see the Lord, where can it go?
Mhm.
And that's something that we all have to individually
Yeah.
come to grips with.
But it's not that Joseph didn't go through that, because remember when,
Yes, he did go.
yeah, when she started off, I recognized that she's not going to get through. Plan B came into effect. Start crying out. Start shouting, look at what he do, look at what he did, look at what he did, look at you brought a man in here, brought a slave in here to embarrass me, brought a slave to insult me, and da da da. She loved the man bad. She crazy over him. That she's ready. She's ready because I was gonna kill you. So now anything that happens to you, anything can be worse than me gonna kill you.
And then in there, when he was in prison,
She still went.
still comes to
Still hoping he can give a little something.
That is
Listen,
that's beyond.
I don't
disgusting,
want,
man.
you see, I don't want to say some things to give out my story. But as I said, some people go through these things all their lives. Right? Some people go through these things all their lives. And so they understand. So some people understand Joseph full time and the whole situation, while others are just looking on it as reading. But when you go through it, you understand this man, it was not easy for him. Right? So I have to give you, a little context. So imagine you preach at the church and everybody is come greeting you and shaking your hand. Somebody goes, this sermon is so awesome, everybody loves this thing, it's just crazy. Right? And somebody comes and shakes your hand or holds it 2 seconds too long. Just 2 seconds too long. You say to them, leg on my hand, in front of everybody. Leg on my hand. For that person, well, you're embarrassing me to tell me let go of your hand publicly. But you felt immediately the hand was too long. You get a phone call the next day. Man, I love what you did. I love what you did. You put she in a place. She was mad. What you talking about? Yeah, when you tell me let go of your hand. It was mad that you did that. Then she calls. I can't believe what you did to me. And such a person was so happy that you're dead. And da 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 da. I'm ready to kill you. You embarrass me. But I can give you a second chance. You understand? You embarrass me. I am mad at what you did to me, but I will give you a second chance.
Who behind that?
So here it is. She did everything to him, caused him to go to prison, but still wants to give him a second chance.
Yeah. So he was in the care of Potiphar, although he like get rid of Joseph.
No, he was no longer under Potiphar. He was in prison of all those who went to prison from the Pharaoh. So she has the ability to go and visit anybody in the prison.
I said in prison.
I make sure.
And yeah, she was able to be set.
I make sure that it is covered, that her tracks are covered too. Because to go and visit after the accusation, it would suggest that we cool.
But the beautiful thing about it is that it was not a case. Well, God is amazing.
How she would have handled that up?
God.
If he didn't give him any prison, how she would have made that right?
She'd have to get him free for them to go. She wouldn't be able to do it in prison. He'd have to agree, and then she'll free him. She'll make a different story.
But we live in a time where people
Right?
do it in prison.
But don't forget that she is she's so smart.
Yes, he is. Wait.
She knows that she has failed and is not coming back. So as I was saying earlier, God is amazing. God spoke through a child. And when he was getting beaten, that's what I say, he was getting beaten. he was getting beaten to death.
Yes.
Because what he did deserved death.
Anybody ain't leave a slave over.
And he's saying, God, how are you allowing me to be whipped by these uncircumcised men? And you, God, knows the truth. And that brings us to the point that there are times when you found yourself in a situation, you alone know that it is not true what they're saying. Man, nothing you can do. There is nothing you could do, and no matter what you say, I don't know how to explain to you. Don't find out stupid. It is clear. The evidence is clear. You are a slave, and she's an important woman. You would have gone behind her. You would have gone after her. It is clear. And you know that you went after her. Your passion went after her. So we would have to believe her. And so it maddened Potiphar to see that this slave came and do this nonsense. And he's begging, no, I didn't do it. No, no, you didn't do it. Were you stupid? You're a slave. You ain't getting sex. And God allowed her child to speak. And we didn't know she
Not
had
any
a
child, her child.
Her child, his child, Potiphar's child to speak at 11 months.
And what does that mean?
That
That she was pursuing him when she got pregnant,
No.
or in the earlier stages, because if he says if the child was 11 months.
We don't know what time.
Oh,
We don't know what time after the child is born. We don't know what time before. She could have, right, she was pursuing him. 11 months is a good while after birth for you to still pursue somebody. Right? But the child speaks. And the man believed the child. Because the child is not supposed to speak. It can't speak.
The wolf, I remember
He
the
clearly
wolf.
Like the wolf.
Yeah, he
Right.
clearly come body slam she, and she got pregnant.
Donkey.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was clear now that God is speaking through this child. The Hebrews, God is speaking through this child. Someone is speaking through this, and Potiphar says, stop. So now he starts to think. Yeah, that there ain't normal.
Yeah, I know.
But I still don't know what to do with him. If we bring him back to the house, this situation is still there. So I will let the priests and the judges do the job.
I just had this strangest thought.
Yeah.
That the child would have probably says, and you are not my father.
You had the strangest thought. Yeah, Kurt, you had the strangest thought. Yeah, but yes, he is crying out, and God is letting the child speak. And he sends him to the judges because deal with this, because I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And the judges were smart enough, because they still said to him, well, why did you do that to the man? I mean, he placed you in this important position, and you tell me you can do that? I mean, even though you're a slave, but you can think though. You tell me you let yourself fall into that? And again, he's saying, no, I did not. The man was smart to do the forensic test. Smart. Really cool. She gave it to you, right? Let us see how. Let us see. If it tear from the front, it means she grabbed him. If it tear from behind, it means he was running away. No, which one? If it tear from the front, it means she had grabbed him.
Yeah, correct.
So he pulled away.
Yeah, correct.
Right? Now, how other way could it tear? How other way could it tear? Yeah. Because if he come onto her and she is pushing him back, it would tear.
No. But if she tried to
If she tried to grab him and he tried to get away, it would tear. Because the force of him trying to get away. Because it's not she getting away, but what she's trying to say is that he ran when I screamed.
Right.
So it's still a possibility. Huh?
It should be 2 different by if you run.
Because he running.
Yes.
So because he running, I say, oh yeah, you want to run after? I grab you, but I put it from the back because he's running, so I'm grabbing him while he's running.
Correct.
So the men are studying that. If it's not from the back it tear, then she lines.
Yes,
And when the men recognize, all of them recognize she's standing alive. Men say that's not deserving that. but you can't send him back in the house.
You can't say
He's not an Egyptian, so you can't send him out on the road to live where? You can't sell him. So the only place that is of safety for him is to put him in prison, in jail. And I like how Marcel say, put him in what custody? Protective custody. So technically, the prison was not prison for him, but protective custody. But he's a slave, so anyway, you send him around there, that's fine. And he told us that as soon as he got there, the man in charge saw that that was a good boy. His behavior was exemplary.
How soon that was it?
The same time. You mean how they found he was a good boy?
Yeah, the person.
Remember, he spent 12 years. So,
I mean, the beginning.
right, he spent 12 years. So the early years, we don't know if it's the first week that he went there, the first month that he went there. But earlier clock, as we would
But
say.
then God was.
Earlier clock, the man recognized. So obviously he's treated good in there. And still with that responsibility of leading. And that's why we said, they can try to take everything away from you, but they can't take away who you are. That don't sound good. They can't take away who you is. Who you is who you is. So your character is going to come through regardless.
Even in the end.
You understand? So let them talk. Let them say whatever they want. But who you are remains who you are. So wherever you go, it's going to immediately just pop up. That's a good boy. That's a good girl. Come on, what nonsense they're talking about? This is good. And you will find yourself in positions that you never thought before. Yeah.
And I like in the study that you also too spoke so strongly in certain parts and at the end about the individual who would have fallen. Who would have fallen and got back up and recognized that his or her body is the temple of the Lord, and that there is indeed forgiveness at the foot of the cross. And I thought that was just such a strategic thing to say, because the person, and Joe mentioned it earlier, everybody's not a Joseph. Everybody is definitely not a Joseph. Everybody is not going to.
And every Adrian is not a Joseph, right?
And it's true. And and I Joe mentioned it earlier about being able to sit there and recognize that even though you may have faltered or fallen as a result of something similar to this, or in anything in life, you would have to remember what Christ did on the cross, and remember that there is forgiveness for you, and that you can maintain, and that you can continue to live, and be confident in your walk with God, just as much as somebody who didn't do it, because everybody's journey is different.
Yes.
And so therefore, and some of us, I'm not saying that we had to fall, but some of us, through flesh and through the way that we think, God has to take through some experiences in order for us to come out understanding that, because somebody is going to see and say, I am going there. Somebody can see and say, oh, okay, all right, you'll see. And going there, recognize, oh, hell no, definitely ain't going back there, and then refrain. So I like that in the message, you stated that you kind of covered everybody and made a lot of individuals who were watching, I would believe, comfortable enough to understand that they're safe.
Yes, your mistake is not your downfall forever. There's still ways that, God is forgiven. So there are so many avenues that He's going to bring you through all the time. So you have to not let yourself go down because you made a mistake. We are human. So if you did not take the way of escape that He made, He's still forgiving. Right? But also you should not judge the person who is beautiful and having to go through all of this, and maybe one day that person fell. So on both sides we have to take caution. And eventually, we're wrapping up that part. Eventually, he went to prison, and the rest becomes history. It would be exciting to see what took place in the prison. We will hear about that as we go to the next level of things. But again, the two accounts are helping us so much with our understanding of what transpired in the lives of the Hebrews, God's children, before they actually went down into Egypt. Now, Joseph is in Egypt, and they are supposed to go there because God had promised them that Abraham, that they would go there. They say that all the time. They are actually saying it. They're repeating that they have to do that. Isaac is repeating it. Abraham told it to Isaac, and Isaac is telling it to Jacob. They're repeating that. God promises that he's going to, but don't have a clue how God is going to do it. Don't have a clue how God is going to do it. And it could never, never be from the boy we sold. Never. Impossible. And so God deals with the impossibilities. Don't, anything that has never happened, don't ever think it will not happen, because there is a God. Yeah. And he's capable of doing anything. Now, right now, I say that man, in terms of seeing, man is capable of seeing anything that his mind imagines, because he can just put it in AI in words, and he can see it in video. So we can think of anything. We can think of Trump dancing the salsa. We can think of prime ministers doing all kinds of things, playing poker, because AI can do it for us. That's where we have come. We can have Zelka talking back to Joseph, because that's where we have come. In her voice, that's where we have come. Helps us to picture things. But God is the God of the impossibilities. And if he is the God of the impossibilities, we should not fear what tomorrow is going to bring. We should not fear what this is going to be, because God is able. And he's not able yesterday. He's able today, yesterday, today, and forever. So we serve that kind of God, and we should be excited about serving him. Yes.
And I wanted to share a text that I was up while reading the EBRs this morning, and it's Ephesians chapter 6, verses 10 through to about 18. And this is the NLT I'm reading from. It says, "A final word: be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on all of God's armor, so that you will be able to stand firm against all strategies of the devil. For we are not fighting against flesh and blood, enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places. Therefore, put on every piece of God's armor, so you will be able to resist the enemy in the time of evil. Then after the battle, you will still be standing firm. Stand your ground, putting on the belt of truth, and the body armor of God's righteousness. For shoes, put on the peace that comes from good news, so that you will be fully prepared. In addition to all of these, hold up the shield of faith to stop the fiery arrows of the devil. Put on salvation as your helmet, and take the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Pray in the Spirit at all times, and on every occasion stay alert and be persistent in your prayers for all believers everywhere." And so Joseph didn't have this to refer to, but he had an understanding of who God was, to refer to God and to cry out to God and to call out to God. And so this text is fitting for us now. We have this that we can refer to, and we also do have all the other tools, praying and fasting, these different things that we can utilize and praying the word, whereas then God can really be manifested in the situation in real time.
Would you say that God likes war. God likes battle and war. Because he's telling us we are encouraged to put on all these things which is for fighting. So if he's telling us to put on all these things which is for fighting, does he like war?
I think you're provoking a response.
I'm provoking
And
a
so,
response. You and
the response.
answer.
So the response is that we were born in sin, shapen in iniquity. After a war was ensued, a war was perpetrated upon us.
Okay.
Because of a war that was between a created being, the enemy,
Okay.
and God.
Okay.
So then we were simply adopted into the war, and within that adoption, it means that every day of my life I am one. Every day of my life there's a battle, and so that's why when it says to put on the full armor, it means that every single day in my life and in the life of human beings, we are going to be faced with some adversarial thing from the enemy in some way. Whether it is manifested in that a demon comes at us in some way, shape, or form, or that our flesh rises up against us because of the Bible says that the flesh and the spirit is constantly at war and enmity. And so and the flesh is so it means that we are constantly in this turmoil, a tug of war. And so in that tug of war, that is a war. And so God actually has to fully equip us with what he suggested here.
Okay, wow, you good. You good at that. Yeah, you good. You're very good. That's correct. So it's not that God likes war, but there is a war that was brought unto God. Right? And as we said before, if it's not good, it has to be fought against. If it is good, it is worth fighting for. So many of us did not and would not choose fighting. But we have to choose fighting because that's the only way to preserve that which is truth or good, or the only way to fight those who are trying to corrupt what is truth or good. Right? So we are asked to put on these things, mimicking fighting. And back then they had swords, but we don't have that today. We have guns. So if we have to now modernize that statement, what would it be?
Now it says progress is a never-ending struggle.
What is a never-ending struggle?
Progress.
Progress is a never-ending struggle. Yeah, correct.
You will see the focus, the Satan change. I mean like before Christ, if Satan had killed any of these individuals who take on the mantle for God after the Father, he would have cut off Christ's line. Right? After Christ, his duty is to just kill those who accept Christ. You will see the Satan focus change, or it was the same coming to the prophets. Yeah.
Right. So if he had killed Joseph, would Israel be able to go down to Egypt and do what they had to do?
Christ would come.
If he had killed Abraham, would Isaac even be born?
And he knew that in the beginning.
If he had killed Isaac, would Jacob and Esau be even born?
All of me out.
If Esau had killed Jacob, would any of this happen? Right? So, good question. So, no matter what the devil tried, he would fail. Because God has a plan.
Right.
Hello. When God has a plan, God has a plan.
Yeah.
Right?
So that would be his focus.
His focus now is to get killing one man, Abraham, wipes out everyone. Right? Killing one man, you ain't gonna do nothing.
Right.
So he's not going to deal with just killing you or wiping you out. He's going to deal with that. He's going to deal with changing the mind of people into what Jesus Christ is going to say will be false doctrines, false Christ, false teachings. That's where, if you could get you to change your mind from God, if you could get you to get a wrong concept of God, if you get into getting wrong beliefs that will drive you away from God and salvation, then his job is done. So yes, what you were saying, his focus would have changed. And his aim is to move people away from accepting God. Now, if he can kill you before you accept God, then it's fine, because you will never get the opportunity for salvation, that kind of a thing. But God sees and knows all things. So yes, he's plotting for God's children, and God is plotting to save his children. All right, so thank you very much for your discussion. We will turn to Proverbs, which we're coming slowly to the end of Proverbs. We did Proverbs for last week. Mr. Damon, who thinks he remembered what we did. Proverbs 28. The wicked run away when no one is chasing them. We did that last week. Huh? But the godly are as bold as lions. Yes, we did that last week. When there is moral wrath within a nation, its government topples easily. We did that. So we have 29 and 30. Right? Whoever stubbornly refuses to accept criticism will suddenly be destroyed beyond recovery. When the godly are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked are in power, they groan. Is that also? The man who loves wisdom brings joy to his father, but if he hangs around with prostitutes, his wealth is wasted.
Yeah, we did that.
Remember that? The word prostitute helped you. A just king gives stability to his nation, but one who demands bribe destroys it. The flat of friends is to lay a trap for their feet. Evil people are trapped by sin, but the righteous escape shouting for joy. The godly care about the rights of the poor, the wicked don't care at all. Mockers can get a whole town agitated, but the wise will calm anger. If a wise person takes a fool to court, there will be ranting and ridicule, but no satisfaction. The bloodthirsty hate blameless people, but the upright seek to help them. Fools vent their anger, but the wise quietly hold it back. If a ruler pays attention to liars, all his advisers will be wicked. The poor and the oppressor have this in common: the Lord gives sight to the eyes of both. If a king judges the poor fairly, his throne will last forever. To discipline a child produces wisdom, but a mother is disgraced by an undisciplined child. When the wicked are in authority, sin flourishes, but the godly will live to see their downfall. Discipline your children, and they will give you peace of mind and will make your heart glad. When people do not accept divine guidance, they run wild. But whoever obeys the law is joyful. Words alone will not discipline a servant. The sword may be understood. The words may be understood, but they are not heeded. There is more hope for a fool than for someone who speaks without thinking. A servant pampered from childhood will become a rebel. An angry person starts fights. A hot-tempered person commits all kinds of sin. Pride ends in humiliation, while humility brings honor. If you assist a thief, you only hurt yourself. You are sworn to tell the truth, but you dare not testify. Fearing people is a dangerous trap, but trust in the Lord means safety. Many seek the ruler's favor, but justice comes from the Lord. The righteous despise the unjust, the wicked despise the godly.
If you assist a thief, you only hurt yourself. That is true, because if you purchase something from a thief, you can also to be charged.
Yeah. But they say when it's time to come to court, you might be in trouble. Proverbs 30. The sayings of Abner, son of Jacob, contain this message. I am weary, O God. I am weary and worn out, O God. I am too stupid to be human, and I lack common sense. I have not mastered human wisdom, nor do I know the Holy One. Who but God goes up to heaven and comes back down? Who holds the wind in his fists? Who wraps up the oceans in his cloak? Who has created the whole wide world? What is his name and his son's name? Tell me if you know. Nobody is picking up this one.
Who picking it up? I pick up that.
Right? You're looking
It
at
says
me.
being written, and he's talking about he's talking about his son's name.
Who made the whole world?
Yes.
What is his name?
Who is his
And
son's
his
name?
son's name, all the way back
Then.
back then.
Before he even
Correct.
walked, on the earth.
Before he-
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah.
something to hit out at.
Yeah. Tell me if you know.
How you know?
Every word of God proves true. Yes?
Who comes down? Who but God goes up to heaven? That captured me earlier. And comes back down.
Mhm.
And then he mentions his son shortly after. And that's because that jumped out at me from early.
Prophecies.
Yeah.
I would not have even known that this existed.
Verse 5, every word of God proves true. He is a shield to all who come to him for protection. Do not add to his words, or he may rebuke you and expose you as a liar. So whatever God has said, leave it alone. Don't add things that God has not said. Don't put words in his mouth. So it's not only in Revelation that we are told to add to anything. It was told in Proverbs, don't add anything that God has not said.
He will expose you.
He will expose you. Right?
And he did. He did it to Job 3 friends.
Yeah, he did it to Job's true friend who said, the Spirit said this and the Spirit has said that, and God said, that was not from me.
Right, yes.
Whoever Spirit they had, it was not from me. Verse 7. Oh God, I beg 2 favors from you. Let me have them before I die. First, help me never to tell a lie. Wow.
That hard pass.
Second, give me neither poverty nor riches. Wow. Give me just enough to satisfy my needs. Wow. Poverty, I will be struggling too much. Riches, it may fill up my head. Just give me sufficient.
To satisfy my mind.
Yes, so that's our prayer too.
My prayer.
That's our prayer. Let me never tell a lie, and give me neither poverty nor riches, but sufficient. For if I grow rich, I may deny you and say, who is the Lord? And if I am too poor, I may steal and thus insult God's holy name. Yeah? All the way back then, same principle. People with money just forget God. They feel that it's their money that allow them to be where they are.
They need help.
They don't need help. They don't need God. They don't need nothing.
They don't depend on
The poor people always stealing and
Yeah.
Money
And disgracing the name of the Lord.
money is bring who you are.
money just bring out who you are. Money just bring out who you are or change you into some other kind of
Correct.
thing. Because as we said, as you get the money, you start seeing how you have to protect yourself from those who want it from you and not genuine to you, but always just want it. So
So I just compliment you, but when you say love.
love of money is the root of evil. Right? Never slander a worker to the employer, or the person will curse you and you will pay for it. In other words, don't back talk your worker to the employer. If the person has done something wrong, either tell them and you tell them, listen, I'm going to tell the boss. But slander is just talking people's name to the boss so that you can look good. Get like a promotion because you're talking down. I remember a young man who was trying to be in a certain position in a spiritual organization. He said the boss of the spiritual organization would call the young men who were associating with certain young people because he wants to know, and he's asking them to back talk the other one.
In a spiritual place?
In a spiritual institution. And one of the young men said, I had to tell him, no, sir, I don't do that. I really can't do that. Right?
Way back then, practice.
And even my own experience in a spiritual organization, one day I was called in and the individual started telling me to tell them about a certain person. And they went on, so tell me, what about this person? What do you know about this person? Because I was told that they eat a lot of food and they this and they that and they always this and they that. And I said to the person in position, I don't do that. It's not something that I do. So if you want that information, you'll have to speak to the person yourself. But I don't feel comfortable you asking me to do that as such and such a person. So immediately I went and I told the person what was told to me. The person said, what? That's what I did? But yesterday I was talking to them and they tell me beware of you.
That's some funny gossip.
That's serious.
Yeah, very funny. Yeah.
They told me to beware of you. And they're asking me about you. In your presence, they can't ask you any questions, they can't tell you, but they're doing it. But this is the kind of leadership, spiritual leadership that's taking place right now in certain places.
And the devil gonna get in, so the devil gonna do these things.
And they call themselves spiritual leaders. 11. Some people curse their father. Some people curse their father and do not thank their mother. They are pure in their own eyes, but they are filthy and unwashed. Let me say it again. Some people curse their father and do not thank their mother. They are pure in their own eyes, but they are filthy and unwashed. They look proudly around. They look proudly around, casting disdainful glances. They have teeth like swords and fangs like knives. They devour the poor from the earth and the needy from among humanity. Let me say that again. Some people curse their father and do not thank their mother. They are pure in their own eyes, but they are filthy and unwashed. In their own eyes, they feel pure in what they're doing. And some people are like that.
Yes.
They know they're doing evil, but in their own eyes, they feel like they're doing right. And justify themselves for doing right. And try to pull everybody to say that they're doing right. When they know it's evil, that thing crawls up my skin. And look at it. They look proudly around, casting disdain glances as though they're the righteous ones and you're not. They have teeth like swords and fangs like knives, that they will cut you and destroy you. They devour the poor from the earth and the needy from among humanity. The leech has two suckers. They cry out more, more. So what leeches do? They just suck. Blood, 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 blood. There are 3 things that are never satisfied. No, 4. That never say enough. My mother always used to tell me that as a child. The grave, the more you bring, the more it will fit. The barren womb, if I have no children, and I get 1, I will take. And you give me 2, I'll take. And 3, I'll take. The thirsty desert. So a desert will always take water from another water. And the blazing fire. You ever hear a fire say stop? When my mother used to add the sea, she used to add the ocean. And they say the ocean has no back door, that kind of thing. Ocean is never satisfied. The eye that mocks a father and despises a mother's instructions will be plucked out by ravens of the valley and eaten by vultures. There are 3 things that amaze me. No, 4 things. What? Well, that would be not literally speaking. Not literally speaking. Right? But if you're not respecting your mother and your father, then obviously you will feel, right? It's like ravens plucking you out and eating you, right? The vultures eating you, you'll die. So that kind of a stuff. And there are three things that amaze me. No, four that I don't understand. How an eagle glides through the sky, how a snake slithers on a rock, how a ship navigates the ocean, and how a man loves a woman. Yeah, because you're talking about back then. You don't understand how an eagle with that weight could be up there just flying. There were no planes. There were no planes. So this creature just up there, just soaring. That was difficult to understand. How a snake with no legs can just slide through, just on a rock, right? And then how a ship navigates the ocean. I mean, it's just moving and knows where it's going, because they're using the rudder and they're using the sails. And how a man loves a woman. I would like to go to the next verse.
Difficulty.
Oh man, love
Difficulty.
I would like to go to the next verse.
That's so hard. Oh man, love another woman. I mean a woman.
So those who
Why?
those who have all the wisdom to respond can try to do that in their own time.
20.
Or we do in verse 20. An adulterous woman consumes a man, then wipes her mouth and says, "What's wrong with that?"
Oh.
That's what happened to Joey Wilson.
What had happened is you love it.
Right? Because she adulterous.
Yeah.
So it's like somebody's husband, so what's wrong with that? No problem. You know?
I say he.
A slave who becomes a king. I missed something?
No, you are 21.
There are three things that makes the earth tremble.
No.
No, four. It cannot endure.
We go back up.
No.
That's just how he's speaking.
That's how he speaks all the time.
Instead of saying the four, he just said three things. No, four.
Yes.
A slave who becomes a king. How possible is that? An overbearing fool who prospers.
Mercy, Trump.
How possible is that? Yeah. Well, I hope nobody heard you. And a bitter woman who finally gets a husband. Oh my goodness. And a servant girl who supplants her mistress. The earth trembles when a girl who is the servant of her mistress becomes the mistress to the husband. Earth got to tremble with that.
Yeah, but you was the mistress.
You were the mistress, now you're the wife.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
You know, you mistress to the, because it's, repeat what
Servant girl who supplants her mistress. She's
Did you hear guy went past whose name? Sarah? Is Sarah? Is Sarah?
In her mind,
Oh, in her mind.
Sarah gave.
Right, she gave.
Sarah gave. That's different.
Okay.
Like the girl is the mistress,
Uh-huh.
and then weaving her way, she's a servant and weaving her way and end up at the top. So pass the wife.
So Sarah then at some time wanna know if she get to that level, if your girl get to that level.
She didn't get to that level. Right? She didn't get to that level. She was still the servant. But she was kept silent because she had a child and the wife could not. So she was bigging up herself. Right? But it's not that Abraham was taking her over as the wife. Not that kind of stuff. Right? But it does let the earth tremble. When a woman who is bitter, she don't want nobody, and she finally gets a husband. Like, whoa, okay. Things changing. And an overbearing fool who prospers. A fool not supposed to prosper. Then he's stupid. Right?
is the part of overbearing.
The overbearing one again too. And a slave cannot become a king. How he's going to break the ceiling of being a slave to now become a king? How? How is Joseph supposed to break the ceiling of being a slave to become a king?
God is within.
Only if God does it.
Yes.
There, 24, there are four things on earth that are small but usually wise. Ants, they aren't strong, but they store up food all summer. Hyraxes, they aren't powerful, but they make their homes among the rocks. I know what that is, but I should know what that is. Let's see what the E, what is coning, or a rock badger. Yeah, that's a rock badger. All right. But they make their homes among the rocks. Locusts, they have no king, but they match in formation. And 28 lizards, they are easy to catch, but they are found even in king's palaces.
Yeah, something all over that. All over that.
Because they come in and look at you.
Yeah.
Slip through.
There are 3 things that walk with stately stride. No, 4 that strut about. A lion, king of animals, who won't turn aside for anything. The strutting rooster, the male goat, a king as he leads his army. Just striding, pride. As the beating of cream yields butter. Understand? If you have been a fool by being proud or plotted evil, cover your mouth with shame. Wow. And as the beating of cream yields butter, and striking the nose causes bleeding, so stirring up anger causes quarrel. Hey, Adrian, tell she could come and talk. Proverbs 31,
We will go back to that when she comes back.
last one. We have actually walked through Proverbs eventually. So the last 3, the last one we just looked at is from the saying of Agur, so that was not actually Solomon's.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the one is the sayings of King Lemuel, which is actually
Who is Agra?
whoever he is. But it's compiled in the book.
Yeah, it's called
Proverbs. The sayings of King Lemuel contain this message, which his mother taught him. So this is not from Solomon.
Right.
O my son, O son of my womb, son of my vows, do not waste your strength on women, on those who ruin kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel, to guzzle wine. Rulers should not crave alcohol, for if they drink, they may forget the law and not give justice to the oppressed. Alcohol is for the dying, and wine for those in bitter distress.
Seriously?
Let them drink to forget their poverty and remember their troubles no more.
So you can't drink no more with that?
Alcohol is for the dying, that part.
But actually all we dying, I mean.
All we dying.
I guess they mean the amount of alcohol
Yeah.
from what you say.
It kill you out. Stress.
Come on.
So remember
Come on,
we already told we
No,
already
for the birth
told
before, right?
we already told that what? To guzzle.
Yep.
Yeah, to not crave alcohol. Right?
It is not for king or limit. To guzzle. See, if you don't read properly, you just catch up with
No, I
it.
didn't hear somebody vending service. I want them to that. The people back then give the people, the sick people,
I don't know when it's
Why?
coming sick.
in stone say
That's it.
when you're when the person sick, the alcohol and kill the pain and
Okay.
kill everything.
Yeah.
And the person.
That was Adventist, or that was, we read that earlier.
Paul told Timothy to drink a little wine for the stomach.
That exactly it. Remember?
Because Paul was Timothy was drinking water and all kinds of things, and he was still having that stomach problem.
But the
Paul
amount
told
of the
him.
amount of alcohol they mean in this verse.
The guzzle is a lot. It's the same thing that we're talking about, the excess. As I said, the Bible should not confuse itself, or the prophets should not confuse themselves, or the scrolls should not confuse themselves. Verse 8. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, and show justice for those being crushed. Yes, speak up for the poor and helpless, and see that they get justice. All of us should try to do that.
Yes.
Who can find a virtuous and capable wife? She is more precious than rubies. Her husband can trust her, and she will greatly enrich his life. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life.
Amen.
She finds wool and flax and busily spins it. She is like a merchant ship, bringing her food from afar. She gets up before dawn to prepare breakfast for her husband and plan the days for her household. She has to start with the husband and for her household and plan the day's work for his servant girls, for her servant girls. I was in a certain place, and please do not take my credits away from me. Please do not take my credits away from me. I was in a certain place and we were having lunch. After lunch, they had 2 cakes, and they proceeded to cut the cakes. Adrian, and they was cutting the cakes in little pieces so that everybody could get. And the woman said, "Wow, you can tell he does all the cooking at home.
Wow.
He just does this so, he just does it so well." I said, "Don't take my credit away from me." And she said, look at this. And I mean, I was doing such a great job. She said, "Hey, you do all the cooking at home. You does the cooking at home. He is a fantastic job he's doing just in cutting this cake." And you could tell them.
It's very easy to deceive.
Right? You can tell them. You expect me.
It's very easy to deceive.
You expect me to respond to that? I'm not going to respond to that. Joseph's brother said, and the quote, and Jacob said, "An animal has devoured my child." That's it there. Right? You could tell them because it was cut so perfectly.
So cooking?
It was cut so perfectly. You could tell that this man does a good job in the kitchen. Right? So don't take away.
You just make it right. You did a good job in the kitchen. It's a different, man. You still read the Bible and make sure you understand.
It means I did a good job in the kitchen doing carpentry work.
Yeah, in the cooking. Just in the kitchen. Ain't got nothing to do with cooking.
But yes, a woman who, yes, some men who do some good cooking.
Yes.
And if you find a man who does good cooking, then you can relax yourself, you know? Right? So, why is she looking at me? Why is she looking at me?
She wants to relax. She wants to be able to relax.
She wants to
She wants to be able to relax.
Huh? Take that way. That the man do the work for the ladies to relax. A husband just said to me, "Take that back." I believe that it has to be a husband that does some cooking at home, and therefore wife is relaxed. He says, "Then take that back." Yeah. So, gentlemen, let us stop the cooking and give them to do their job, because we don't want.
I agree.
Right, gentlemen? You can.
The majority agree.
Like me, doing a lot of breakfast, making breakfast, boiling tea at night, it's a lot of work. You can tell I do, I boil tea,
And
I boil water.
that goes back for the
I
man's
boil
love
water.
for woman.
If I boil water, if I boil water and give my wife tea, that's work.
It goes back for a man loves
Love for a woman, yeah, it works.
Explain to me what you're talking about.
Powers tell me that. Love for a man.
So she gets up, she finds wool and flax were sturdy and busily spins it. She's like a merchant ship bringing her food from afar. She gets up before dawn to prepare breakfast for her household.
You hear that?
I ended up saying for her husband.
She gets up before dawn. That's 4 o'clock.
And plan the day's work for her servant girl.
True.
Yeah, so she says true. Right? So that's very true. So if you find a woman that gets up before dawn, hallelujah.
Let's say don't let a servant girl though.
Verse 16, she goes to inspect her field and buys it. With her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She is energetic and strong, a hard worker. She makes sure her dealings are profitable. Her lamp burns late into the night. Verse 19, her hands are busy spinning thread, her fingers twisting fiber. She extends a helping hand to the poor and opens her arms to the needy. She has no fear of winter for her household, for everyone has warm clothes. She makes her own bedspreads. She dresses fine linen and purple gowns. Her husband is well known at the city gates, where he sits with the other civic leaders. She makes belted linen garments and sashes to sell to the merchants. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. When she speaks, her words are wise, and she gives instructions with kindness. Call her to speak.
Pastor, back then, I mean, a woman used to do a lot.
Yeah, it's
Right?
So that's,
Yeah, she used
a
to do a lot.
woman is responsible for a lot of those things.
so that's,
But still, yet, you know, got some churches say a woman shouldn't say anything and should take her place. And shouldn't say nothing.
That's
Like,
two
hey,
different. That's two
different
different things,
stuff.
brother.
I know I talk about church and doing a lot, right? But to
Yeah,
me,
this is-
there is a lot that a woman do.
This is household stuff.
there's a
She's
lot that a
responsible.
woman does all the
She's
time.
responsible.
Not the only bad thing.
The man is responsible for going out there
Providing.
and finding money to bring to that house,
So that she
Right.
build that house,
That's right.
and she can now take care of doing all
Doing
this
all that
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
And she's
Honestly.
When she speaks her words, 26, when she speaks her words are wise, and she gives instructions with kindness. She carefully watches everything in the household and suffers nothing from laziness. And then like, you gotta look at every little thing, you gotta check it out. Everything she does, that's a real perfect woman. Just every little thing, making sure everything is there. Even the stopper for even the stopper for the bathroom tub and the sink, and every one of them must be blocked every night.
My husbands would call it miserable.
It is miserable. It is miserable. Did
Do you see
did
the
block-
benefit?
Did you block the hole?
Do you see
So
the
when you
benefit?
finish, when you finish bathing at night, you have to say, blocking the hole. The hole is blocked. You know?
Do you see the benefit?
So that nobody's asking you the question. Did you block the hole?
Do you see the
It could be 1
benefit?
o'clock in the morning. We will get up and block that hole because
Pastor, when you
no
say-
roaches must come
Pastor,
up from there. No lizard. No
Right,
no
right,
no
but when you
centipede,
say-
Do you see
no
the
everything.
benefit?
No, when you say A, you gotta say B.
I know you
Heard about in Proverbs, we talking about the lizards coming in everywhere. Now if the woman block the whole, the lizards and come in.
We just said because no lizard, no roaches, no ants, no nothing,
Give
no
her credit.
creatures. Let's just say it's a perfect job. That would hurt my head to have to do, but that's nothing for a
For a
woman
woman to do.
because
So give her credit.
yes, credit is due,
Yeah.
my dear. Credit is due.
Adrian, thanks for standing up for your friends, boy.
Yeah, they have to.
Her children stand and bless her. Her husband praises her. Hallelujah, you're doing a fantastic job today. There are many virtuous and capable women in the world, but you surpass them all. Husbands, say that about your wives. Charm is deceptive, and beauty does not last. But a woman who fears the Lord will be greatly praised. Reward her for all she has done. Let her deeds publicly declare her praise. So, women are the backbone, front bone of the house.
I just love beautiful.
And
Beautiful.
they are the backbone, front bone of the house. But the man is the head of the house.
Still. So respect.
And
Sure.
head of the house still, the man is the head of the house. The man is still. He's the head of the house. She's the backbone of the house, but he's the head of the
They
house.
work together to maintain.
It's a compliment. Right, so one has to work together
You see it?
for the good of the family.
Pastor, would you say that the issue with where we are right now is because there are a lot of men, that there are a lot of men whose expectations of a girlfriend is a wife's expectation, and then when it doesn't occur, they attribute that this disdain
And then vice versa, a lot of women's expectations for simply just a boyfriend is a husband's, role, when it shouldn't be, because obviously that step has not been taken.
A husband is a boyfriend is a husband and a girlfriend is a wife.
What do you mean?
No, I'm saying,
You should see
From
the husband and the
observation.
wife in the boyfriend and girlfriend.
what I'm saying in
Yeah.
observation,
Right.
I'm saying there are a lot of people with expectations of people who are not in no
Married.
ways, who are not married.
Expectations
who-
such as, for example?
No, what I'm saying is that expectations of two people who are not in a committed relationship. Well, they're in a committed relationship, but they're not married. But they want to assume marriage roles
Talk about it.
and cry on each other when there's no full, like the person has never shown you that is their expectation of you. And so you're vexed about that. And it's both for both male and female. And so what I recognize is that there's a lot of complaints on the internet about that. And seeing that we were talking about is along those lines in this particular text, I recognize that it's kind of like a fallacy in the minds of both male and female. So because you're dating somebody, you ascribe husband duties and wife duties to people when that initial step hasn't been taken. To me, that doesn't make sense.
But
And we can't tell people that you will have to look for, that you are looking for, that husband qualities must be presented before. Understood. But if you ain't seeing them, where you crying, why then would you cast aspirations then on every female or every male, whether like for female would say all men is dogs because he didn't do this, and then a male would says the can't take the woman, she just want all his money. And I recognize that that's the trope no on the internet. And I recognize when you then hear them like talk about their experiences, none of the two ever made any commitment to each other at all, to say that this is the step that I can go. And we have normalized shacking up. That's what
Because a lot of men have to give money for nails and hair and those kind of things, so that sort of thing. And for a lot of women, the men just keep cheating. So when you hear those statements, it goes back and forth things. If you are supposed to be a good husband, you will not cheat in a girlfriend-boyfriend relationship. So those certain things we have to be seen. If you're not showing that you're holding responsibility as a man and as a boyfriend, then most likely you're not going to show that as a husband.
Correct.
I remembered a certain young lady who was warned about a gentleman. She does everything in the relationship, but she loved him so much that she didn't care. She would change her car tires all the time, change the tires, everything. She shops, she cleans, nothing, but she loved him so much. And when you warn about it, she's like, oh, I love him, he's good, he's fine. They got married, and she's complaining.
No. She saw the right flag.
Not even my car tire is changing, but he wasn't changing it before.
Weird.
He's not doing this, he wasn't doing it. So those kinds of things, you still have to look. You still have to look and see whether in a relationship, things that you want to continue.
You hear?
They can all day,
No,
They can all day, right?
you're changing the tires.
If they get a flat tire when I'm at work, what they gonna do? Call me to come and change it? They gonna find somebody to change it? Oh, so that one is not for me, so don't worry about that at all. Right. So yeah, we did walk nicely through Proverbs. We want to thank God for that information that has been given to us, and we next go to Ecclesiastes and walk through that also.
Pastor,
Yes.
I wasn't here before, but I wanted to say that.
Joshua?
Pardon me?
Joshua?
Yes. I
Stand on the
enjoyed.
microphone,
I
please.
can't see it.
Let me. Yes.
Not getting over jet lag.
Yeah, she is.
I just wanted to say that I really enjoyed the presentation last night, and I like how you went from, I don't know if I noticed it before in terms of how I think you read like the whole of Joshua, like a chapter, and then you read like the whole of the Genesis chapter.
Sometimes I parallel
Right.
them.
Instead, right. But I noticed it this time how well it was done, where you where you did
Back and
the
forth.
tying back in and the back and
Right.
forth.
Right.
That was really good, and that really gave a good picture of what was going on in those times.
Correct.
So
Very.
I really enjoyed it.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
said, because
Yeah.
Adrian said nothing, so I just
No,
thought
the tie
that.
back in had me because I listen for you and the tie back in song.
He only saying it now because they say it.
Adrian
Oh,
didn't say
okay.
nothing.
This is all here. No, serious, I hear the tie back in.
Somebody had to start it. So.
Yeah.
Adrian didn't say anything to me, and so I'm glad that you. I'm glad you. He didn't voice
No,
any
the tie
appreciation.
back in is true. It was great.
Yeah. So whenever it is almost like one chapter and the next chapter of the same information, I prefer to parallel it
Right.
so that you can see everything instead of having to read. I think the next chapter that we're going into Joshua will be a little bit about Judah, but we have already done Judah. But it came almost 2 chapters after. But if it comes almost side by side, we try to parallel them so that you can see exactly. And that one with Zilika, Zilika was just.
She was very persistent.
Wow.
She a leech.
Yeah, she's a sucker. A leech, real leech. And we extensively talked about how that kind of behavior could affect somebody when you stood strong.
Yeah.
And let us all try our best to be as strong
Correct.
as we could. Let's go ahead. Wonderful Father, thank you again for guiding us and helping us to see the things that we've seen and to appreciate the things that we appreciated. We love you, really, really love you with all our hearts, because we are growing closer to you. We are growing deeper into you, not because a preacher is standing somewhere and hammering us about how to love you and telling us the wrong things that we have done that makes us so dirty and how much we need to come to you. But that because of how we are reading what you are doing, it woos us to you. It pulls us to you. It gives us a responsibility and an accountability. And this is what you want. Relationship where you have learned from what God has been doing. Somebody should not force us into a relationship. Somebody should not drive us into a relationship, but we must be driven by what God has done. And so we thank you once again for just putting in our hearts that love for you, that appreciation, that respect for you because of what you're doing. Continue to guide us and keep us and bless the meal that we're about to receive, we pray. We ask it in your wonderful and precious name.
Amen.
Thanks again. God bless you. Have a good one.